show respect to the squad, that's a big up. I want my money in the grave, first we gotta dig up. They know exactly who I am, ain't no mix up.
Yo, what's good? It's your boy Bakerboy, the greatest photographer on the planet.
Know. And you already know who I am, the greatest rapper under 30 years old, your boy Young Cicero. How's everybody doing?
We're back, and we're going to talk about the shooting that took place in Atlanta. Those of you who don't know, there was a young man who was found asleep in the drive-thru.
What was his name? Something Brooks. I don't know.
Yeah, I was finna look up his name.
I was completely unaware of what was going on. I literally just watched the video just now before we turned the camera on, so this is all new to me. But I mean, videos tell everything. So,
and he was sitting in his car.
Apparently drunk.
His name was Rayshard Brooks.
Rayshard Brooks.
The Atlanta mayor orders changes to police use of force policy caused Rayshard Brooks shooting murder. And this is what the mayor said.
This one is a little different than some of the other ones. For sure.
This is my problem. Now, those of you who don't know, let's give you a brief story. Okay. So Rayshard was sitting in his car. He was drunk, passed out.
In a Wendy's drive-thru.
With the car running, blocking traffic. So police were called, and they reported that there's a car with a guy. They didn't know if he was alive. They didn't know if he was sick or whatever. They reported him. The police showed up. They knocked on the door. He was in the car. The police was very cooperative with him.
Everything's on tape for this one.
They talked to him. They asked him to politely move to the side. They asked him several questions. They were not aggressive with him. They actually talked to him. Then, after giving him a test, because they had to give him a sobriety test, and people would say you could tell he was drunk, but to back
you still
up
have
there,
to,
in order to do it.
If for people who don't know, right? I'm not a cop, but a friend of my brother's was a cop, so I do know kind of how this stuff works. It could be very obvious that he's drunk, but if stuff like this goes to court, you need to have evidence, and just saying he was clearly drunk is not evidence. So that's why they took that test, because if it does go to court, which this probably is going to go to court, they need to have evidence for it. And by taking a breathalyzer test, you literally have it as evidence. So that's why they did it.
Now you have all of these people speaking out. I'm watching videos now calling this Rayshard Brooks a murder and all of this other stuff. Now, okay, let's get into it. So once he was about to be arrested, he forcefully fought off the police. There was a scuffle between him and two other police officers. In the process, the officers yelled to him several times to calm down, relax, calm down. You're going to get tased. They told him several times. He continued to fight off the police, and he was doing a good job of it. He threw one cop off of him. He pushed another one, and he took the cop's taser. Now, people, a taser is considered a weapon.
It is definitely considered a weapon.
Now, some people may say, oh, but it's not a deadly weapon. In some cases, it is.
Yes, you can definitely kill someone with a taser. If you just let it sit in there, you will eventually kill someone with a taser.
So, to rule out that he was unarmed is not technically
that is no longer
true.
That's exactly no longer. Once he took the taser out, he is now armed.
Now, in the process, he got away from the police with their taser, and he began to run away from the police
with the taser in his hand.
The police tased him again. He continued to run, and in the process of running, he turns around and aims the taser at the police officer. And then another police officer,
he is now attacking
fires
back.
3 shots and hits him in the back. I think 2 in the back, 1 in the leg. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. He falls to the ground and then later dies. Now, this is the reason why it's a touchy subject for me. Do I understand that he was at fault? Yes. Do I think the police could have handled it differently? Yes. The only thing I say that they could have handled differently is that they could have actually let him run away because they actually had his car and all of his information. But
you can find him. Basically, yeah.
We can sit back and say, yeah, they could have just let him run. But let's be honest, he was at wrong in this, and I'm not trying to justify because we talking about
Yeah.
going to jail, we talking about murder. You can't come back from murder. This is somebody else's son, father, possibly. You know,
Yeah.
somebody he has a family, which is horrible. But guys, we gotta make better decisions.
For
I'm
what?
sorry.
You watching that video and listen, man, we can't tell the future, but those cops seem to have no intention of doing anything wrong at all. And it's because they went through the process the right way.
Those cops did not intend to kill him from the
They
beginning.
tried to give that man every opportunity to just go peacefully.
And like I said, we're not trying to justify murder because you can't come back from murder. But you can't assault a police officer as
And
well.
take his weapon, man. You can't do that.
We have to understand that the police are authority figures. They're there for a reason. You have to obey, especially when you're wrong. All of this fighting back against the police is one thing when you're not wrong. But when you're wrong, you're wrong. And I'm sorry, we need to start taking full responsibility for putting ourselves in these positions. You are under arrest because you broke the law. You're under arrest.
You're driving drunk. A lot of people, you could say he was parked. If you're in a motor vehicle, the vehicle is running on, and you are over the limit, that is considered driving under the influence, man.
Now, what if he would have pulled off and killed somebody?
Exactly.
You know how many drunk drivers have killed people?
I'm glad you went there.
So, you know, let's just not make it seem like, oh, it's nothing. Let's just be honest. You know, he elevated the situation.
100%.
Now, this is the other part of that. And this is why I get some of the frustration. You know, we talking about somebody's life. If me as a gun owner with a gun license, I'm not allowed to shoot nobody in their back. If they're running away from me, I'm not allowed to shoot them in their back. But I'm not trying to detain them either.
Yeah.
That's two totally different things, and I think people need to understand that. Oh, yeah, he was running away, and they shot him in the back. He was running away from being arrested
With a weapon in his hand.
with the weapon that he turned and aimed back at the police. Now, they could have stayed their distance.
No, yeah, they
Slowly
definitely could have done it differently. But to say, because what people are upset about is they're upset about the fact that the officer shot him in the back. That's what they're mad about. Because there is literally no way that you can justify what Rayshard was doing. Right? Is that his name, Rayshard?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's literally no way that you can justify what he was doing and try to make it seem like what he was doing was right. It just wasn't. Now, if you want to be upset and you want to make the debate over should the cop have shot him in the back, that's a completely different topic. And who am I to say that? Because I don't know how that whole process is supposed to go. I don't think he should have shot him. But come on, man. He running away from being arrested. That's number one, resisting arrest.
Assaulted.
Yeah, second one is assaulting a police officer. Third one is firing at a police officer with stealing a weapon. That's 4 charges. Now you have driving under the influence is 5. And let people who don't know this, you kill someone driving under the influence, you go to jail for the rest of your life. That's 5 charges. You cannot defend any 5 of those charges at all. You just cannot.
I'm sorry. We got to stop as black men putting ourselves in certain predicaments because you cannot put yourself in this type of predicament and then blame the police.
I'm sorry to say police were not completely wrong on this one. Not all the way wrong.
No, it's hard to say because the guy died, but bro,
let's put it to
it on yourself.
Let's put it to this way for the people out there. If Rayshard is breathing and in jail right now, the cops did absolutely nothing wrong. If he is still alive, they did absolutely nothing wrong. If he is still alive, they did absolutely nothing wrong. So think of it that way. Like we're saying, we're not trying to justify the fact that they killed him, but everything up until the actual bullets being fired, not a single thing was done wrong on the cops' part. When they were fighting him, they didn't even pull their gun out first. In all other situations, stuff like this, the gun was the first thing that was pulled out. Both cops didn't pull their gun out. Both of them pulled the tasers out first. And actually, they tried to detain him and put him on the floor. The second step was to pull out the taser. The last step was to pull out the gun. And that's what people should be mad about. They shouldn't be mad about how the situation went down because the cops didn't do anything wrong on this one. They just didn't. It's all on tape, too. It's not like we have to take witness accounts and stuff like that. This is all on both body cams. I think there's even a shot from the Wendy's, looking at the drive-thru and stuff like that.
And I hear so many people, oh, he didn't do nothing. They didn't have to. People. like I said, the guy lost his life and it's sad and it's horrible. But let's be honest, bro. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And I seen somebody else say, "Oh, I've seen thousands of videos where white people were fighting the police and the police didn't shoot them."
That's where the debate is, and we understand that. That's where the debate is in terms of being shot. But everything before that, there is no debate at all. There's just none.
Exactly.
There is none.
And let's just be honest. If the cops in those other cases would have shot that person, I can understand it. The fact that they didn't, to me, does not sit here and say that, oh, they only shot this guy because he was black.
No. You can't say
At the end
that.
of the day, he got himself into this predicament. So it's like, why even put yourself in that predicament to where a cop has to make that decision?
Yeah. Well, you have to also remember, first of all, not all cops are bad people. Despite what people want to think nowadays that all cops are bad, they're not. Watch that video. Everything that those cops are trying to do, they might not be the greatest people in the world, but they're not evil. From that video that I was watching, they're just not evil. It was one cop that shot. It wasn't both from the video, right? You watch that video. Those cops tried to give Rayshard every possible. They tried to give him every chance to just get in the car and go to the courtroom or go to the county jail.
Bro, you could fight that in court.
You
That's
could
not
fight.
even-
You
they
can
just
fight that in
arrested you
court.
in the car. They would, and to me, they would have just charged you with, possibly a DUI or whatever.
And get your license suspended or taken away. You got to go get it back.
You could have even argued that you took a nap so that you could sober up before you went home. Like
You can't even do that exactly.
You would have had a better chance of just battling that part than to try to run and assault bro.
Yeah, no.
I feel sorry for the family. I'm watching now, people protesting, and then they burnt down the Wendy's. Like
Wendy's had nothing to do with it, by the
Wendy's
way.
have nothing to do with it. People got to work the next day. You taking food off their plates because now they can't go to work. Some of this stuff we have to think, man.
Yeah. We got to stop reacting so much and start thinking a little bit more before we react, man. Because, listen, I'm not saying the cop was right necessarily for shooting him, but at the end of the day, the cop is a human being. You're putting that human being in a very, very tough position in terms of you running away. He gave you a lot of chances, right? He gave him a lot of chances to do it the right way. And there was no mal or racist intent in the video before the shooting. And I'm not saying the shooting was racist, but those cops did absolutely nothing that has been done in other cases. They didn't call him anything. They weren't over aggressive. I mean, dude, that's how everything should go, the way those cops did it. That's how every case like that should go when it's a white and black, or just anybody, period. It should go that way. But once you attack them, you assault them, you steal their weapon, you try to shoot them with their own weapon, and then you run away, you are now putting that dude in a very difficult position on, am I going to let him run away, or am I going to have to do what I don't want to do and put him down? That's a tough position to put any human being in, man. We're not machines. Machines can make the perfect decision at a split second. The human brain doesn't work that way, because then stuff like emotions start getting involved. Stuff like panic starts getting involved. Adrenaline, all that stuff, it clouds our judgment. And in a situation like that, the cop is a human being. His judgment might have got clouded a little bit. I'm not saying that makes it right for him or that makes it okay for him to shoot the person, but you have to understand the position he's in. That's a tough decision to make, man. That's just hard.
That's a tough one, man. So once again, man, let us know what you guys think. Leave your opinion. I'm torn on that one, bro. I really don't.
That's crazy.
I'm torn on that one. So once again, me and Cicero will be back with another M&O hot topic.
Yeah, been doing this for 2 years, don't tell me I'm impatient. Compare me to Ross and I'm LeBron of my generation. I'm only second to the MJ of my town. Purple rain weather, I'm the prince of the crown.